Tamer Ahmad, and I'm the CEO of Latin Finance. It's a great pleasure, as always, to welcome you all here from what has undoubtedly become one of our most important regional conferences of the many we host in Latin America and around the world each year. Many of you will recall that we relaunched this event in September 2015 between the first and second round of the elections in the belief that no matter the outcome, that change was inevitable for Argentina. And indeed, as we've seen over the past 2.5 years, change has come. And it's clear now that since the Macri administration took office, there's been significant progress in setting the economy on the right track. The holdout issue was solved. Argentina has re-engaged wholeheartedly with international financial markets. And on the policy front, much progress has been made. And of course, after last October's successful midterm elections, when President Macri's coalition won 19 seats, optimism is certainly back for the administration and its supporters. But the journey from state-bound stagnation to investment-led growth was never going to be easy. And among the government's biggest challenge today is the speed of reforms, not least on the fiscal front, at a time when inflation is still high and the economy remains under considerable pressure as consumers feel the pinch. In some respects, the more fundamental question is how Argentina can remain competitive in today's landscape. All this at a time when global market conditions are less than certain, with the prospect perhaps of a faster than expected rise in US interest rates, posing a clear risk to capital flows and potentially to the foreign investment that Argentina so sorely needs. It's also clear that the global economy, while ostensibly gaining momentum, is no safe place, not least given a fractured global polity. The specter of protectionism, rising rates, and the volatility that this could engender, all these are factors that will carry big implications for policy planning as Argentina seeks to deepen its reintegration with the international financial community. The external environment, as much as the internal, is likely to prove a pivotal factor. I won't dwell too much on these topics for now. We'll obviously have the opportunity to explore the challenges facing the reform agenda, as well as the opportunities that these reforms will likely yield across the various discussions that we have planned today. And I'll leave it to our panelists to elaborate on the complexity of Argentina's economic and financial situation in what I have no doubt will be a fascinating series of discussions. I'd like to just thank our distinguished speakers and guests and all of you for taking the time to be here today, and also to thank our sponsors for once again making this event possible. I'll point out that the Deputy Governor of the Central Bank, Pablo Neumayer, will join us after lunch to talk a little bit in detail on monetary policy. We regret, of course, that the full cast of economic policymakers that we typically have at this event could not join us today as they typically have, given the G20 forum and the IDB meetings falling this week, which has posed some inevitable scheduling challenges, but we nevertheless have a superb cast of speakers and delegates with us today, and we look forward to the discussions. I'd like to hand over now to Gerardo Mato, Chairman of Global Banking and Markets at HSBC, and lead sponsor of today's event, for some brief remarks before our opening panel. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tamer, and I'm going to make my speech in Spanish, if that's okay. So, buenos días a todos. Mi nombre es Gerardo Mato. I'm the Chairman of Global Banking and Markets para HSBC. y es un placer poder estar acá en mi país presentando nuevamente este evento del Latin Finance en Buenos Aires. Como todos sabemos, Argentina está en un proceso de transformación política y económicamente. Diferentes reformas fueron implementadas en los últimos tiempos con la intención de mejorar la institucionalidad y las condiciones del país. Desde que Mauricio Macri asumió la presidencia, uno de los esfuerzos más importantes que este gobierno está llevando a cabo es reinsertar a la Argentina en el mundo y en los mercados financieros internacionales. Uno de los ejemplos que estamos viviendo en el día de hoy y que honra al país es que Argentina lidera actualmente y por primera vez el G20. Y durante esta semana tenemos en el país a ministros de Economía y presidentes de bancos centrales de los países miembros para discutir una agenda en conjunto. Nosotros, desde HSBC, trabajamos y seguiremos trabajando arduamente en ayudar a las compañías argentinas y al gobierno a insertarse en el mundo financiero. Nuestro objetivo es conectar a inversores internacionales con emisores argentinos, así como también ayudar a las compañías a cumplir sus necesidades financieras para el desarrollo de su modelo de negocios. Si bien el camino no ha sido ni es fácil, vemos que la economía argentina está creciendo hace 7 trimestres consecutivos y que muchos de los desbalances que existían se están empezando a corregir. Nuestras expectativas para los próximos años del país son muy positivas y auspiciosas y definitivamente creemos que Argentina está en el camino correcto. Me gustaría, en lo personal, que todos los que estamos hoy acá presentes seamos protagonistas y no espectadores de esta oportunidad única y que la capitalicemos lo mejor posible. No solo es importante y beneficioso para la Argentina, sino para la región entera. Disfruten el evento y desde ya muchas gracias.
Thank you, Jerry. If I could ask our panelists to make the way to the stage for the opening panel. Thank you. Great. Well, welcome to our opening panel discussion on Argentina's economy, the reform efforts, and some of the challenges and opportunities facing investment in Argentina today. As we remarked briefly in the opening, it's clear that President Macri's position was considerably strengthened following the success in the midterm elections. And now the focus is really turning to the economic reform package and the debate over gradualism, the speed of reforms, how quickly the government must now move to maintain the momentum. We hope to look at the macro picture to understand a little bit better what some of the drivers of demand are at this particular point in the cycle. And we'll look at the reform efforts in infrastructure, public-private partnerships, in capital markets, and in energy in some detail, partly with a view of setting the stage for subsequent discussions that we'll have during the course of the day. We have a superb lineup of panelists with us this morning, as always. And I would just like to ask each of the panelists to very briefly introduce themselves, their name and affiliation, and then we'll dive straight into the discussion. We'll start to the far right.
Yeah. Claudio Loser, President of Centennial Latin America, and previously a member of the IMF staff.
Hernán Walker, CFO de MSU Energy.
José Luis Morea, subsecretario de Participación Público-Privada en el Ministerio de Finanzas.
Marcos Ayerra, presidente de la Comisión Nacional de Valores.
Katia Boaza, I run Latin America for HSBC.
Daniel Redondo, soy el secretario de Planeamiento Energético en el Ministerio de Energía y Minería.
MSU. ¿El grupo? No.
Thank you all.
Nacional, tu nacionalidad.
I'd like to start, if I may, with a sort of a big picture framing question. And now, clearly, 2017 growth numbers came in slightly lower than the psychologically important 3% number. And many argue now that to keep the momentum, the government needs to keep growth above 3%. Obviously, that requires real investment, both locally and through FDI. But in light of the fact that FDI has been sluggish and growth has underperformed, what do you see, and perhaps Claudio, you could start us off here, what do you see as the principal challenges being for the administration to nudge growth to what many see as an acceptable level?
Yeah. Si me permiten, voy a pasar a castellano mendocino. Bueno, fundamentalmente el gobierno argentino se encuentra en una situación muy especial. Hace mucho tiempo que yo no he visto en la Argentina un equipo económico de la, digamos, de la calidad y, digamos, del pragmatismo que tiene este equipo. Yo creo que esto es muy importante y creo que en el contexto de todo lo que se ha hecho, mis comentarios tienen que ser vistos de acuerdo a lo que Taimur mencionó de los logros que se han hecho. O sea, las grandes preocupaciones son a nivel macroeconómico, y eso todas las instituciones internacionales lo dicen, la preocupación del gradualismo en el ajuste macroeconómico, en el ajuste fiscal. Se ha hecho mucho, se está haciendo mucho, cambios fiscales tremendamente importantes. Sin embargo, la preocupación es que porque se está reduciendo el déficit fiscal en forma demasiado lenta, eso puede aumentar los riesgos. Y acá los riesgos, por supuesto, son que en algún momento se endeude demasiado rápidamente